Hi, Limit Break Overdrive with another Path of Exile video. This one is gonna be my first build experimentation video. Reason is that usually I play SSF, but since the Crucible mechanic is kind of disappointing, even boring, I decided to migrate to trade and just try out different builds. I mean, I don't have a lot of time to put into the game right now, so apart from my Bone Shattered Jug, I had time to try out two more characters, one of which is not fully done yet, so the video is gonna come later if I find time to finish it. First one, as you can see in the background, is an accuracy stacking Juggernaut. I went with Molten Strike, but I think Lightning Strike was used quite a lot as well. Might be used a lot still. I probably did not reinvent the wheel. I mean, it was not the goal. My goal was just to have fun and try something different. Like, I like fast attacking builds, and when I saw that this one could get over 20 attacks per second, I said, yeah, I gotta try that shit. So gear-wise, though, it requires a lot of specific items, so you have very few gear slots available for your resistances, for example. So I thought about using Purity of Elements, but I managed to get the resists without it, which I was happy about because that made it easier for me to use the auras I wanted to use. So now let's jump to POE. Alright, so the weapon I used was Replica Last Resort. Basically just to scale more accuracy. I dual wield these claws because I get the bonus for accuracy rating on low life and increased damage on low life. However, you need to absolutely be on low life to even deal a single point of damage. I use Storm Rider boots to get added lightning damage per accuracy, but you get less accuracy. But I mean, overall, it's pretty much the bulk of the damage comes from these boots. Obscurantis, I mean, projectile damage per accuracy, that's why I'm using Molten Strike and scaling the projectile. And Oscarm, for critical strike chance, it's 2% per 200 accuracy. And if we look at the accuracy right now, is 40k. I know you can get more than that, so that adds up quite quickly. So yeah, I get pretty much, not all the accuracy nodes, but pretty much all of them. Like this one, I could take another mastery probably. Like maybe this one would help. It's like 17k per projectile or some shit. This could be good as well. Like these two nodes alone would give like what, 25, 28 total deeps per projectiles. So that adds up quite a bit. I use two transcendent spirits, one with a brutal restraint, because brutal restraint adds dexterity on the nodes, and the more dexterity there is in a radius, the more accuracy you get. If it's not allocated, there's another one here, just to get as much accuracy as I can. I picked up the additional projectile as well, just for a single target. I could maybe ditch that and take something else, get one less projectile, but overall, like, fine-tune the build, that's something I could do, but I stopped investing into the build because I wanted to try another one and I lack time. Another item that's important is Inikora's Sight. You get a shit ton of accuracy, you can't be blinded, and you even prevent more spell suppress damage. I got a nice corruption with 16 all res, which, I mean, helps a shit ton. If you look at the resist, I don't have room basically. So, and this is probably including hindrance charges. If I untick that, yeah, so that's pretty tight. Defense wise, I struggle to get spell suppression. Like, I'm at 93, so I would need like slightly more dexterity, maybe redo one of the rings, I don't know, and get some dex on it just to get to that 95, and then probably just take this node for 5 spell suppression and I'll be good. And so the bulk of the defense is Petrified Blood. Since we need to be low life, we need to protect the lower half of the health even more. Where is Petrified Blood? I'm old. because I don't have my glasses, that's why I didn't see it. So Petrified Blood, and I use Determination. I use Vitality, Warbana, with Arrogance and Clarity, just to get to that sweet spot of exactly 50% or close to, and then I just pop Blood Rage, which puts me at low life so I can deal damage. That's how I went with it. Sometimes, depending on your level and your exact amount of life, you don't need to use Blood Rage, but I did it anyway because it's attack speed and more leech. So yeah, it's always a safe bet. And Assassin's Mark comes from the gloves. Oscarm, where are you? There. So all in all, it's a lot of items you need, absolutely, for the build to work. I added Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh to get Crave the Slaughter, which gives me a lot of rage generation, and that's where the 20 attack speed comes from, because it's not active in the POB, but if you tick it, you gain 2 million full deeps, and you get over 20 attack rate. So it's, and since this node gives you a lot of rage on bosses, you can use Berserk quite often, so it's quite good. So yeah, about 4.2 mil damage if all projectiles hit the target. Of course, I got 11, so maybe, I don't know, maybe if this would be more realistic if I was doing, where are you, Molten Strike, maybe just taking 3 projectiles away, 3 mil, but I mean, it feels like more like 4 or 5 mil. And my original POB got to like closer to 9 million damage, but I stopped investing earlier, but I even think that the POB was just too optimistic. Maybe it was fine-tuned, but maybe I should have reduced the deeps. I could get a Dying Sun to get 2 additional projectiles, and maybe Vintar. I don't know if it would give me a lot of damage. A good Watcher's Eyes, of course. There's still room for improvement, but overall, I'm happy with what I got. I mean, I had a Thread of Hope. My original plan was to just get these nodes, because I started with Nightblade, and it was slightly more damage, but without slower projectiles. The projectiles were spraying too much for bosses. I could have swapped just for bosses, but I had to change my tree around. Obviously, once this reaches level 5, you get Penetration, which has quite a bit of damage. But yeah, overall, that was a fun try. It's not the tankiest build I've played, and I certainly don't recommend that for SSF unless you have all the items, because you play like a madman. But yeah, it's a fun try. And I'm gonna leave the POB in the description of my current character and not the build I made, because I think it was too much damage, not realistic enough. So you can look at it, take a look at it if you're interested, and let me know in the comment if you've played an accuracy stack Juggernaut in the past, or if you want to try it now. Maybe let me know where I could improve the build, because I'm not a professional at that. It's just something I had fun with and I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.